journey is the reason you're alive. The journey is the reason you're alive.
I will not be afraid, for I know my hope is justified. I know revelation still unfolds. I will not be ashamed. I will open my soul to the mystery beyond my control. The love that makes this broken world whole. There is only so far down the road a body can see. I will do what's mine and move on, speaking truth with love to powers ever greater than me. With compassion, I'll be where I belong. I will not be afraid, for I know my hope is justified. I know revelation still unfolds. Yeah, I will not be ashamed. I will open my soul to the mystery beyond my control. The love that makes this broken world not afraid of, a love that makes the whole world whole.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome to All Souls on a pretty day. This is a congregation that's built on covenant and not creed. We promise each other that we're going to try to treat one another respectfully, even when we disagree. We don't all think alike. We don't all believe alike. We do all think how you live this life matters. Doing what we can for peace and justice and expansion of compassion in the world, and holding up the light of truth as possible, all matter to us. We think that's a big part of the spiritual journey. So, whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, you are welcome here in a spirit of mutuality, always. Caught a glimpse of Susan Yellett. I don't know if she has announcements. Do you want to do, you can do yours. I would like everybody to be in here for it, but
Hello, my name is Mackenzie Stations. I'm a chef, but I have a nickname, Burnt Biscuits. I am cooking up, I have already ordered the food for the luau in Maui that y'all are to attend in April. But you have to make your reservations by April 1st because everyone has a role. If you wonder what you do for a murder mystery dinner, if you've never been to one, you will be sent your character, your role, some suggestions of what to wear, and you come here to enjoy a wonderful meal and friendship. And during that time, you're given clues and you're given things that you need to tell other people, such as, you know, Mackenzie Stations burnt the last luau he had. I don't know what they've put in the food in this one. It's a mystery. Clues such as, I saw her go that way, and then 3 minutes later, they came back. Clues, you are told. You don't have to make them up. They are given to you. There are games, there's food, there's fun, there's fellowship, and there is a sense of mystery to the whole thing. You will not be told everything until it is time for you to know. I am the game master. I am Mackenzie Stations, and I keep my stations in my kitchen sort of pristine. Fortunately, they're going to have it catered. See you there.
I'm not sure how many we have signed up right this minute, but if we don't have 30, we can't do it. And the drop-dead deadline for registration is April 1st. By April 1st, we have to have 30 people coming to this event, or the event won't work. Can kids participate? So the event is on April the 11th. The deadline for signing up for this event is April 1st, and we need you there to have all this fun with us. I want everybody to know that today the Alamino Peace Academy is selling seed packets that they created and fire starters that they created and some herbs that I guess they grew and some candles and stuff out here to help fund their trip to the Whitney plantation. And if you don't know about the Whitney plantation, it's the one plantation in the state that was actually run by a black family, or is that, tell me about it, Jennifer.
It tells the story of the plantation from the perspective of the people enslaved there.
Okay, it tells the story of the plantation from the perspective of the people who were enslaved there. I tried to get us to go before, and we didn't have a bus. But Jennifer and her family have been before. Where is it?
It's in Edgeburg, Louisiana, kind of between New Orleans and Baton Rouge.
It's in the sticks between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Anyway, they're selling that stuff to help them get there and learn about the plantation life from the perspective of the slaves. Thank you. Other announcements. Did you want to come finish the announcements, Susan? That is our board president back there. I didn't say anything about the give away the plate or the volunteer of the month or the we did talk about the murder in Maui. Okay, so give away the plate this month is YWCA. Is the YWCA, and the volunteer of the month is Maggie Mollacy. And are we announcing anything about Emerson, or has, but we haven't asked them yet, right? Okay, so stay tuned for some of the stuff about the Emerson Award, which is the award we give to people someone or an organization that is not part of this congregation, that in the community, the local community reflects the values that Unitarian Universalism stands for. And we do it once a year, usually in alignment with our anniversary. And the murder in Maui is an anniversary party of sorts the day before our anniversary service, during which we will have a new member in gathering and hopefully the Emerson speaker speak. Anyway, there's a lot going on in April, so pay attention. Next week, Alan Gann, who is an amazing poet, will be doing the service, and his title is In the Shadow of Woody, in Woody's Shadow or something like that. Footsteps of Woody. He's written a bunch of poetry in the spirit of Woody Guthrie. There will be Woody Guthrie songs featured in the service, and he is coming from Dallas, where he for 15 years taught OWL, which is Our Whole Lives. It's a comprehensive sex education program that the Unitarians created with the United Church of Christ. I'm trying to give everybody background as I go along so that I'm not talking in code. Anyway, he will be our speaker next week. And I think maybe our Bob Jordan is going to help us with music. I will be gone, so come and represent us well. And remember, the deadline for the registration, for the drop dead deadline for registration to the murder in Maui is April 1st. And we need you there if we're going to have it at all. So there. Let's sing. Let's thank Building and Grounds. That was yesterday. I forgot about it because it was moved. The things that get done around here, except in every other week mowing of the grounds, all get done by the members of this church. A good way to get to know one another is coming to Building and Grounds Work Day, which is usually the second Saturday of the month, and working on a task with somebody. There are all kinds of levels of tasks for all kinds of levels of ability, and we welcome everybody who can make it. So, and thank you those who came yesterday and did the hard work. All right, let's sing. Is that on over there? I think so. You want to stand up and sing? We're going to do Love Will Guide Us. Love will guide us. Peace inside us. Hope inside us. Will lead the way on the road from sleep to living. Love if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. Thank you. Please be seated. Let the pew hold you up. Take a few comfortable breaths. Try to get your mind where your feet are, not necessarily down on the floor, but in the room, in your body. And let's enter a spirit of worship. This reading is from Fred Small. It's kind of long for a call to worship. Where is our holy church? We're on the side of love. Many Unitarian Universalists suffer from a chronic identity crisis. People ask us, what do Unitarian Universalists believe? And we freeze up. We don't know what to say because Unitarian Universalists believe so many things, so many different things. We are priests of paradox, apostles of ambiguity, nattering nabobs of nature and nuance. And so the Unitarian Universalist Association produced 7 principles and 6 sources and countless pamphlets and little wallet cards, all to remind us of what we kind of sort of believe. This is an old reading. You'll hear more about that later on. Let's see. We are exhorted to compose elevator speeches, summations of Unitarian Universalism so pithy they might be recited on an elevator in its fleeting passage between floors. Do we believe in God? Question, simple. Answer, impossible. Define God. Define believe. Define we. Define in. Whatever God is or is not, I don't think God cares what we believe. I don't think Jesus cares what we believe. And I know that Buddha doesn't care what we believe. The important question is not what we believe, it's where we stand, and I want to side with love. Of course, when I say standing, I'm not talking about a physical posture. Rosa Parks stood on the side of love by remaining seated. the Standing on the Side of Love campaign became Siding with Love so that it was not ableist. I'm talking about a moral stance, not just assumed privately in our hearts, but witnessed boldly in our families and schools and workplaces and communities, at the State House, in the halls of Congress. I'm talking about faith in action. I'm not talking about sanctimony. I'm talking about intentionality. Understanding that our practice will be imperfect, as each of us are imperfect. What is our purpose? What is our aspiration? What is our commitment? To side with love. When Unitarian Lydia Maria Child defied the prohibition of her time against women speaking in public and demanded freedom for enslaved African Americans and the vote for women, when she protested the Trail of Tears, the brutal removal of Cherokee, she was siding with love. When Unitarian Universalist minister Jim Reeb heeded the call of Martin Luther King Jr. to Selma, Alabama, he was bludgeoned to death by racists. He was siding with love. Siding with love doesn't require power. It requires courage. Because courage is power. When a child on a playground sticks up for another who is teased or bullied or left out because they're different, the child is siding with love. Siding with love affirms the full humanity of all people. All people. It honors the inherent worth and dignity, the spark of the divine in each and every person. Siding with love means treating each other well, whether ally or adversary. Love is patient, wrote the Apostle Paul. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. Siding with love means being more committed to being reconciled than to being right. That's pretty challenging for us. Love does not insist on its own way. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. That's all Pauline passages from 1 Corinthians 13 in the Christian Testament. A religious person, Rabbi Abraham Heschel taught us, is one whose greatest passion is compassion, whose greatest strength is love in the defiance of despair. His friend, Martin Luther King Jr., added, "I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." So when someone asks us what Unitarian Universalists believe or why we're speaking out on gay rights or immigrant rights or disability rights or human rights, or why we bother to go to church on Sunday morning, let's tell them we're siding with love. Would anyone like to lead the first part of the chalice lighting? Thank you.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian
Thank you. The second part of the chalice lighting this morning is a responsive reading from Sophia Lyon Foss, who was one of the very first and most formative education directors in this movement of ours. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged. Other beliefs are expansive and lead the way into wider and deeper sympathies. Some beliefs are like shadows, clouding children's days with fears of unknown calamities. Other beliefs are like sunshine, blessing children with the warmth of happiness. Some beliefs are divisive, separating the saved from the unsaved, friends from enemies. Other beliefs are bonds in a world community where sincere differences beautify the pattern. Some beliefs are like blinders, shutting off the power to choose one's own direction. Other beliefs are like gateways, opening wide vistas for exploration. Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness. Other beliefs nurture self-confidence and enrich the feeling of personal worth. Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world. Other beliefs are pliable, like the young sapling, ever growing with the upward thrust of life. Would you please rise in body or spirit and say with me the unison affirmation? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. The song that we're going to do has two parts, and historically, y'all have done one and I have done the other one. I want all of us to do both parts, and then when we get to the third part, you pick which part you want to sing. Does that make sense? I'm giving you a new option. They're really in kind of different registers, so you may find the one that's easiest for you to sing and stick with that one instead of the one that has the easiest words to remember or whatever. I can work for peace and justice to make it more than a dream. If every day I do what I can to live respectfully, I can work for peace and justice. It's easier than it might seem. Change this world one step at a time till everyone's happy and free. Okay, that's the first part, and here comes the second part. If I come to the tables where freedom speaks, there I must remember my shaped my whole understanding is listening deeply enough to your truth to hear our common dream. So a bit more to that one. But now we're going to try to put them both together. Okay? You ready for this? Do we need to go through them again? No? Okay. If I come to the tables where freedom speaks, there I must remember my one life has shaped my own understanding in a world full of difference. The word of peace is listening deeply enough to your truth to hear our common dream. Thank you a lot. Please be seated. On a bright morning in a little town of Willow Bend, two best friends, Lena the fox and Toby the turtle, set out on their favorite walk along the river. They loved this path. It had tall, whispering grass, shiny pebbles, and the perfect fallen log for sitting and thinking. But today, something was different. As they reached the log, Lena said, "This is the best spot in the world to watch the sunrise. It's warm and bright and makes everything feel exciting." Toby blinked slowly and kind of smiled. He said, "Oh, I think this is the best spot to watch the sunset. It's calm and peaceful and makes everything feel gentle." Lena tilted her head. "Sunrise is better." Toby shook his. "Sunset is better." They both crossed their arms, but in Toby's case, tucked his head back into his shell slightly. For the first time in a long time, neither of them sat on the log. A breeze passed by, rustling the grass as if it were trying to whisper something important. Finally, Lena spoke. "Well, why do you like the sunset so much?" Toby peeked out again. "Because after a long day, it feels like the world is saying, 'Good job. Now rest.' It's quiet and kind." Lena thought about it and she said, "I never saw it that way." Then Toby asked, "Why do you love the sunrise?" Lena's eyes lit up. And she said, "Because it feels like the world is saying, 'Try again. Today is new. It's full of hope.'" Toby nodded slowly, like turtles do. "I never thought of it like that either." They both looked at the log. Lena said, "I still think sunrise is better." Toby replied, "I still think sunset is better." They paused, then both smiled, But Lena added, I understand why you like sunsets. And Toby said, I understand why you like sunrises now. Lena hopped up on the log. Want to sit anyway? She said, and Toby climbed up in a turtle sort of way beside her and said, of course. They sat quietly for a moment. You know, Lena said, we don't have to agree to enjoy this place together. Toby chuckled, and we don't have to change our minds to respect each other. That evening, they came back again. This time, they watched the sunset together. The sky turned orange, then pink, and then deep purple. It's pretty, Lena admitted. Toby smiled. It really is. The next morning, they returned once more. The sun rose bright and golden, painting the world in light. It's amazing, Toby said. Lena grinned. It really is. And from then on, they had two favorite times on the same log, sunrise for Lena, sunset for Toby. They never stopped disagreeing, but they also never stopped listening. And that made their friendship even stronger than it was before. You want to help me sing the kids out? Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. This meditation comes from Alex Klingenberg, and it was written in March of 2020. There's nothing unusual about feeling the suffering or glory of another life. This is how we're designed to live in intimate relationship with all life around us. That was from Susan Raffo. It's the quote that Alex started with. The video ended and the speakers were buzzing again while the professor lectured. I tried to ignore the sound, but I couldn't focus. Finally, I stood to turn them off with the button on the wall of the classroom. One or two other students sighed with relief. The rest of the class and the professor gave me sidelong glances. They couldn't hear the buzz that made me and my entire body tense and my teeth ache. The first time I heard the term highly sensitive person, it sounded like a misogynistic term, much like hysterical, a way to put down those who feel and care and cry. I even took the test that Dr. Elaine Aron created and came away thinking, that's not me. I'm not particularly sensitive to noise or caffeine or strong emotions. My partner looked at me with lovingly skeptical eyes and began to question my certainty. After a few months of self-examination, I could answer yes to every question on that test. I honestly didn't know that everyone else doesn't experience the world as overwhelmingly as I do. It turns out that it can be hard to recognize sensitivity in oneself. Since it's the way we experience the world through our bodies, it's very similar to seeing a different color red than everyone else. How would we know? We don't. Figuring out that I have a very sensitive nervous system has helped me understand myself, including why I've struggled most of my life with seemingly ordinary tasks. It's also true that I can sense minute changes in facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language. I experience a huge range of colors, and I can easily imagine that someone might have been feeling when they created a piece of art. These gifts and struggles exist in tandem. For better or worse, we all have our foibles, pieces of ourselves that we both admire and occasionally revile. Maybe yours is a deep ability to see multiple sides of a situation, or perfect pitch, or the desire to straighten every crooked painting in your mom's house, or a body or mind that doesn't fit the narrow definition of typical. It's often true that our weaknesses are also our greatest strengths. Two sides of the same coin. Spirit of life and love, the weight of a world filled with so much pain and beauty rocks me. When I want to escape this imperfect body of mine, help me remember. Help me find the sound of rain, the relief of darkness, the kinship of rebellious community, the comfort of soft animals and kind people. Remind me that my sensitivity is also my strength, that my breaking heart is also a way to wholeness and ultimately to you.
Somewhere in the universe, someone else is listening to my prayer. Maybe I'm a lunatic, but I really feel someone is there. All alone and beautiful, like the moon, I'm searching for my twin. A cabin is my cubicle, but I know I have a place in heaven, somewhere safe and high, way up in the sky. There's a paradise I found. What I'd like to find is that peace of mind, while my feet are still touching the ground. Somewhere in the universe, dreams go on so far beyond the dawn. I believe in unicorns. I can see one sleeping on my lawn. Somewhere safe and high, way up in the sky, there's a paradise I found. What I'd like to find is that peace of mind, while my feet are still touching the ground. While my feet are still touching the ground. Not long ago, I was doing a little yard work at home, and when I noticed this complete and perfect spider web completely covering the top of the yard trash receptacle I was about to use. It was stretched across the opening, and it was catching the sunlight just perfectly, and it looked so delicate and so elegant that I couldn't put my trash in because I didn't want to tear it up. So I dropped the branches that were in my arms in another trash receptacle, went into the house, got my phone, came out, took a picture of it, and have since examined that photograph any number of times. There was a little skinny white spider in the middle of it. I mean, just sitting right in the center of this web. But as I've thought about it, and all of the analogies and metaphors that we have made using webs in this congregation and in Unitarian Universalism for decades, I never heard anybody talk about that when you're seeing a web like that, you're only seeing one side of it, one face. That particular aspect of considering this wholeness that we affect if we at all brush any strand, if we're a strand, every motion, thought, action we make changes the whole in some way, the whole chaos theory thing. But for some reason, thinking about the web brought me to that this time. The other side's not sunlit and catching the sun like that. Once upon a time, our movement had a covenant between members and congregations that included the 7 principles and 6 sources that I spoke about earlier. They have, as of 2024, set those aside and now use the values statements and imagery and stuff that are easier to get fast and are more visually, I guess, marketable for a new culture and a new time. Of course, culture is perpetually in transition, and so is this living tradition. I guess we have to keep up with the times. I am old enough that that kind of a change was uncomfortable for me. And the more that I have thought about it, when I come to a topic like this, the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, that phrase was actually written in the 7 principles that we used to talk about. But now, in the image of the 6 values that all center around love, the only thing that is expressed is the word in interdependence. For me, that doesn't say it nearly as clearly or as thoroughly, and it requires a whole lot more explanation than actually having said the sentence to begin with. So anyway, in 2024, at the Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly, which is our annual denomination or movement or tradition-wide conference, the General Assembly is what we call that. The voting delegates, who are representatives from every congregation that bother to attend, voted more than 80% in favor of these new values. I was not aware that at the time there were movements that broke off from our denomination, just like there were in the Methodist tradition recently and some of the other mainstream traditions that disagreed with those changes and have formed another organization. That stunned me. But the 6 values that we talk about now are used in the anagram jet pig. Isn't that lovely? Justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, and all centered around love. It's easy to learn, it's easy to quote, and I guess for those reasons, it is in some ways more effective. But today I'm looking at the idea that we are no less connected to and part of the other face of this web than we are the one that's obvious to us. You can stand on the edge of a web and you can see a good bit of what's happening on both sides, but you can't see the whole design or the way that it fits into the world around it, right? And if you're looking at the design, if you're looking at the way that it fits in, you're seeing it reverse from anybody that's looking at it on the backside. Any spot we take up in the web is a spot on the web. I talked about this last week, sort of. the other side of something like the fox and the turtle. Not understanding something does not remove it from part of the whole that we are still deeply connected with. So we've done all this discussion about the effect we have, consciously or unconsciously, otherwise. You know, the butterfly effect, the chaos theory, how small things can bring massive change in a dynamic system. All of that is still true. But even a spider who has the capacity to see things from multiple angles at one time can't see both sides of its web at once. Like the Roman god Janus, there was a drawing on the slides that kind of mimicked that idea in a line drawing that I really liked. But we must have two faces to see two directions simultaneously. If we have much integrity, most of us operate with one face. Therefore, we have to use something other than our own limits of access and communication to access and understand the other side. Something outside our usual channels of communication will probably be called for. I've been listening to a good bit of original music from singer-songwriters lately. One of the songs I encountered talked about older people, older than me, a good bit older than me, who had experienced the world wars, and how they might in this song, they let the right-wing programs and news feeds fill their minds because the ideas that those programs touted sounded like the ones that they recognized and fought for a long time ago. It sounded right to them, and it was comforting. There wasn't any thought given to whether it was true or not, because the news was something they were always able to believe before. There isn't thought given to whether it's true or not. The idea that propaganda has become so widespread and so densely a part of this nation's culture would never occur to them. That was the song. I hadn't thought about that before. I spend some time every week around one woman that's 100, one woman that's 99, a bunch of people that are old and I don't know how old they are, with different levels of ability left and different mental statuses. Do I expect them to grasp what's going on right now or change? Theirs is another view from a point on the web. Like the fox and the turtle in the story, taking time when it's possible to listen, we at least come to have some chance of coming to understand how someone got to the view they have. It's not easy to listen all the time. And when people have passion about any topic, to listen through that passion so that anybody can actually hear the other side gets pretty impossible sometimes. Finding ways to dial down the heat so that the understanding can grow, I think takes a lot of character and time and effort and courage. None of this means that we sit idly by and don't back up our convictions with action. None of it. We can all feel the same earthquaking when the web gets strummed. To some, it might feel like a rocking chair. To others, a carnival ride. And to others, that the world is falling apart. But part of our responsibility, along with doing what we can to know ourselves and our own sensitivities and our own blind spots, is doing what we can to grow in this understanding. Again, none of that precludes the work that we each have to do for the causes that call us to action. And not all of us are compelled to the same actions or exactly identical causes. Anyway, doing what we can when and where it will be effective, serve justice, compassion, healing, and regeneration rather than destruction. And then knowing when we must release something to prevent contributing to more destruction and violence and hate are fundamental aspects of spiritual maturity and wisdom. I'd venture to say it's probably impossible for any of us to be fully aware even of our own strand in this web. How every breath we take affects whatever's around us. We can't know all that. Much less the rest of this complex, heartbreaking, and still beautifully perfect wholeness beyond our comprehension. I want to understand better. I want to see more clearly. I want to love more comprehensively. I want to grow spiritually and humanly with love at my center. Remembering all I don't know is a liberating and responsible exercise. It helps that I have you to teach me and remind me and to share what you learn. The hymn we're closing with is an old one we haven't done in a long time. I hope the rhythm I create for it works well for you folks. If you'll rise in body or spirit. church where race and class unite. A peaceful Oxford search for beauty, truth, and right. Where is our holy writ? Where a human heart, the torch of truth has lit by inspiration taught. Where is our Holy One? A mighty host respond. The people rise in every land to break the captive's bond. Where is our Holy Land? Within the human soul, where every free mind simply seek with character love's goal. Where is our paradise in inspiration's sight, from which we watch the sun arise 10,000 years of ride.
Thank you. I'm glad y'all read better than I do. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us, be among us, and with us now and always. Go in peace. Amen. Ashe. So be it. Namaste.
The promise of the Spirit